Alright, hair is doing the hair thing as usual. My mom really doesn't like this hair. It does look a little crazy right now, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, that initial part of the video was not, I didn't frame Charlotte well, because as soon as I opened the door I forgot. I realized that there is a wasp nest that I haven't taken care of yet. Anyway, this video, I had this topic I wanted to talk about earlier today, and so I'm going to talk about it now. Talked about it before. Goals. And why do I want to talk about it now, aside from the fact that we are all on the Truman Show Pleasantville doom loop of redundancy. Last night I was hanging out with some people, and this female, this woman, saying female degrading. Is that degrading? Who said? I don't know. Saying female, is that? I don't know. This female. I guess that sounds kind of funny. This woman. She said this thing about goals. What are your goals? You don't have goals. Goals. And so it reminded me a little bit of Ted Kaczynski, and I made a video. I don't know if I still have it public right now, but a while back, probably several videos talking about his manifesto, and in particular surrogate goals. And so it's going to be probably similar to things said there, but with more years of wear and tear on me. And wisdom. I meant wisdom. With more wisdom. Goals. When someone is saying they don't know their goals, they want to have goals, they have no, this thing with the goals. Like other things, like meaning and purpose and all these different words, it's all circling around sort of better, almost always, I believe, better ways of describing what's going on. And as long as we're describing things in ways that aren't totally accurate, appropriate, that we're not really hitting the nail on the head, we'll continue to circle the drain of redundant question asking and feeling lost and trying to find the answer to something that the question itself is the thing that's leading us astray. The thing we've identified as missing is not really the thing. So how does this connect to goals? It connects to goals because goals are natural. They don't need to be forced and artificial. Your back hurts. You know what the goal is there to make it not hurt. You know? You're horny. You want to fuck. No one's around to fuck. We know the goal, might vary from person to person, right? Who they want to fuck and what context, whatever. But you don't have to really force out a goal. What are my goals? Your goal, you want to relieve your horniness. You want your back to stop hurting, right? And it kind of boils down to those sort of things, right? And if you're happy enough with the current state of your life, and all the reasons why people are happy or not usually are pretty obvious and cliche. They feel more or less physically healthy. Not all these are required to be happy. You can be happy regardless of all kinds of suffering, of course, depending on which things are affecting you more or less and all that. But right, feeling physically healthy is important to that. Having good relationships. There's not a certain number that you have to have, but you got to have some, right? You got to have a really awesome boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, or amazing friends, amazing friend, good family, some combination. If you don't have any good relationships, right? It's just, that's a big part of it right there, right? Being physically healthy, having a good relationship, probably a few good relationships. But everything beyond sort of the very kind of fundamental basics is all just kind of bullshit. It's all kind of bullshit. Either things are just too great in your life that you've got to seek out goals like this goals things, the surrogate goals, which is essentially artificial goals, like not natural ones that you're having to create for the sake of the pursuit of something, to feel okay with things, right? So life is just so great already. So you're already kind of fucked, because life is so great that you're then on to this next step of like having to come up with these artificial games. Or probably more likely actually is that you're just missing something fundamentally obvious, and then you're thinking that you need to create these artificial goals because that's what other people say. They say, well, you don't have goals. What's your goal? You know, what's your purpose? And they, you know, all these kind of words, when really, if your handsome, loving husband cooked you a nice meal and you were watching a good show together, everything would be okay. If your gorgeous wife in her little skimpy apron cooked you a nice veggie pot pie and you were watching, you know, a really hilarious but also sentimental dark comedy, everything in the world would be fine. And then afterwards, maybe you'll take a walk to a park or a river, and you'll sit and you'll hold hands, and that's it, man, right? Now, easier said than done, blah, blah, blah. Yes, it's easier said than done, but the description of what's gonna bring you happiness is actually fairly easy. And so you should be careful about people that want to overcomplicate things, or yourself, you've probably overcomplicated things. What's your goal? Why did you know, she was asking me, why did I, you know, do this? Why did I do that? Why did I, you know, and I did it to feel good. I did it to have fun. I did it to something that brings me a smile, to something, doing things that I find interesting or engaging, connecting with people that I enjoy. I mean, it's all just the obvious things, right? And of course, like I said, easier said than done, because there might be a ton of complicated roadblocks to those things. But identifying the goals is not the complicated part, right? And it's not even about goals and saying, what are my goals? If you have to think for more than 2 minutes about your goals, you're already going down the wrong path. You're already going down the wrong path. It's like, I gotta create this goal. No. If you're not, either you're already happy and then you're good to go, right? Which you're probably not. You're watching this video. You're already happy and you're good to go. Or you already know what's missing. You do know. I don't know what's missing. I don't know what's bothering me. I don't know. You do know. You do know. Right? You don't have any friends, or you really want a loving partner, or, you know, you're staying up till 4 a.m. and eating fast food every meal, so then you're just automatically going to feel like shit, right? It's just all the obvious stuff. And so, it's this very sort of modern, hokey thing, this goals thing. And the problem with this, and many things that I've talked about along these lines, is if something is repeated enough, right? If people that seem to have some sort of knowledge and power and wisdom, whatever, they have some title, if they say, you need this, you should do this, this is normal, this is what people need, whatever. If something's repeated enough, it's like, oh yeah, that's obvious. Of course, goals. And then people just repeat it. They just repeat that thing, right? Whatever you naturally find desirable is your goal, right? Whatever you're longing for, your goal is to be in that mental place, right? And maybe it can be silly stuff, right? Maybe you just really, you know, when you were younger, your dad drove a 64 Camaro, and so you want that, and your goal is to save up, and that's fine. That's fine. But you just naturally kind of think, oh, that'd be cool, that'd be fun. And that's your goal. You don't have to sit and think about it though.